how what we call changes in technology, how the way innovative technology is coming, how it shapes, how it necessitates the need for business model. So broad coverages in terms of, I will be talking about what is business model, just to refresh your memory. Then we will be talking about creativity and innovation, then how historically technology is managed, then how it is linked with product life cycle, and finally, if possible, how to configure, how to strategize a technological strategy. Now in businesses, our key, what we call exploration is, we have quest for how to create value. Value for whom? Value for your end customer, which you have chosen from the available marketplace. Okay? Segmentation, you can say. So we ask a probing question, what we call, how will the technology evolve over a period of time in any segment? How technology is evolving. Say for example, in wireless, how technology has evolved from 1G, 2G, 3G. Even a lot of people were skeptics about to migrate from 2G to 3G. And now we are talking about 5G to 6G sort of thing. Same in operating system. Same with the story of this laptop from mainframe to this thing. So you should understand how technology is going to evolve, and then if technology is changing, how it is going to change your market. Because when you are operating in that market, you have to create a product which is based upon what we call contemporary technology, best of the best technology, to deliver value to the end customer. Then we say, how will we capture value? Means, how should we design the business model? Business model is essentially nothing but what we are offering, how we are creating value for our customers, and in turn how we are capturing value in terms of primarily you can say monetary amount, as well as how we are engaging our what we call network partners, our business partners, and how we are deriving value from them, and then how we deliver value. How we deliver value, and at the same time while delivering value, how we are growing as an organization. You know, Porter's classification of core and non-core. So we continuously focus upon core activity and slowly phase out our non-core activities. Means we call it primary and secondary activities. We focus upon primary activities, and secondary activities can be outsourced. So we identify which are our core, which is our non-core, and then how to allocate resources. Yesterday we have example of Nike. Nike is the only design company. Apple is only a design company. They are focusing upon technological know-how. Actual production, actual assembly, they have outsourced. Nike also, actual shoe, they have outsourced. So in that sense, so key thing is how we create value, how we deliver value, and how we capture value. Then this figure I have shown in the first lecture. We say we have a value chain, or another way of saying it, we say it is a kind of supply chain. So we must find where we are in our supply chain, at what stage, whether we are a focal organization, or we are a OEM, or we are a supplier, tier 1 supplier or tier 2 supplier, or in distribution chain. And we find a place for ourselves in the extended supply chain. Then we talk about who will be our partners, what will be our assets. So we analyze our value chain, and then we create a value proposition. What value we are going to offer to our customers. What for they are going to purchase my product. What for they are going to avail my services. Suppose I am running a 5-star hotel. What for people should come to us. So that kind of thing. And then we develop a revenue model. Ultimately, if it is a product which is much in demand, or product which is what we call very innovative product, in generally we say we can price it relatively higher. So how we are deriving money, how we are deriving funds, that thing, and then how we are determining our cost structure. See, when we are setting an organization, you require certain fixed assets, and what will be your variable assets. So in your partnering comes with a variable. So this is a kind of template which talks about what we call creation, delivery, and capturing of value. Then some definition, people define business model as a system. What is the system? System of interconnected and interdependent activities, and it determines the way we do our business. Then another part of that definition is, or what is the implication of that definition is, we say it is a kind of activity system. What is that activity system? This activity system is, we do all the activities to finally satisfy our customer. When you are saying satisfy customer, we satisfy the need of the customer, perceived need of the customer. So these two, who does what and how these are connected, becomes very important. How your channel partners, marketing channel, what role they are performing and how they are doing it. So this is a kind of, say, definition part. Then we say business model acts as an architecture that structures the internal organization. If we have studied principles of management, where we talk about different kinds of organizational form. One form is what we call typical hierarchical model. We have a lot of this level strategy, this and this, roles, responsibilities, tasks. They are very rigidly designed. And one form of organization is where things are very loosely coupled. Particularly this happens in a very high-tech organization. Say Google has its own organizational structure. So that is the meaning of how you are configuring your internal organization with the ultimate aim of delivering superior value to your end customer. Then it facilitates the creation of capability and strategies to navigate the market. See, you can use your 5 forces model to understand what are the forces in the market, what my competitors are doing, what my customers want, what is switching cost between alternate products. So based upon that, we are trying to develop capabilities. Some of the capabilities we can adjust within an organization, some of the capabilities we take help of our partners. Then we say a well-articulated business model. One thing is, if you have a business model, everyone in your organization should understand what is our model and what is my role in that model in delivering and creating value. So in that sense, we are saying we develop a kind of dynamic capabilities. These dynamic capabilities are in terms of, they have a capability of sensing, seizing and reconfiguring capabilities. Okay. Adaptive in nature. We are sensing the environment, seizing the opportunity, developing adaptation. Then purpose of adaptation is how fast is our response. Environment is changing. We say environment is very dynamic. Environment is very volatile. Nowadays we say environment is very complex. You see what is happening between Russia and this thing. It has a lot of implication for international trade, particularly in the energy sector, particularly in food sector. And ultimate aim is to develop some sort of competitive advantage. Advantage can be, as generally it is said, it can be in terms of cost, quality, delivery and flexibility. You are competing upon either cost or quality of your product or fast responsiveness, delivery. Responsiveness means changing, very fast change. Understanding the customer need and immediately responding with new product or service. Delivery means like fast delivery. From here to UK is only 8-hour flight. So within say 12 hours time you should be able to deliver some product there. Okay. Or DHL. DHL this way logistics company. Their business is what? They are a logistic business, but it is a support activity. So they are partnering with a lot of organizations who want this kind of delivery. Then you say your organization or other organization, how you are competing with each other. We say if you have these abilities, probably you will be able to outperform your competitors. And then innovation in business model involves adaptation and alignment of processes associated with value creation and value capture. There are 3 A's, what we call adaptability, agility and alignment. Adaptability with what? Changing circumstances. Alignment with what? Aligning with the market, aligning with the customer needs, aligning with your trading partners, and agility means doing it in a very swift manner, fast manner. Then if you are developing your business model, you should ask some questions. So these are the fundamental questions which you should ask. What our customer needs will be in the new business model. What customer need will the new business model address? Suppose you are developing some business model, so you should ask what need I am going to fill. Then what novel activities could help satisfy those needs? Then how could the activities be linked in novel ways? Okay? Suppose traditionally you are doing some activity and you are planning some new activity. There should be some interconnection, some alignment, some synergy between old and new. Then who should perform the activities, roles and responsibilities? What novel governance arrangements can be formed? How these structures will be governed? Then how will value be created for each stakeholder, all your partners? Okay? Not only partners but for societal point of view also. Then what revenue models can be adopted to complement the business model? Ultimately people say money is honey. So that comes of money. Then as usual you are familiar with this thing. Value is what? In our context, value is any organization deliver value with the help of some service or some product. So value is in terms of product or service which we are making. So you can see this product can be seen from old, probably I have seen it this 1995 somewhere, this old mobile phone till this Nokia 300 something to this and that. At that point of time, mid-90s, it was a very valuable device. Today, this is a relatively valuable device. So how you are migrating from that to that? That has a different technology, this has a different technology. Huge difference. Then, value creation requires understanding how technology is going to evolve. Both your own technology and other technologies on which you are depending. For example, is all good. This is all good. You have a mobile phone, but without advances in battery technology, mobile will not function. Or without advances in, you have a iOS operating system, good. Touch screen, all fine. But touch screen requires very good technological competence in the area of, I don't know what you call it.
Refresh rate.
Huh?
Refresh rate. refresh rate.
Refresh rate is one thing.
Sensitivity.
Advances in, you can say, material science. Actually, it is a what we call processing power is a different thing. Processing power means you are talking in terms of chip related thing. I am simply saying this touch screen. This you must have studied in class 12 physics. Polarizing power property. Polarizer and analyzer.
Resistive and reactive. Resistive and reactive touch.
So that technology. So this technology, processing technology, even wireless antenna technology, material science technology in terms of battery, all should go together. Even this metal technology, this frame is very important. It should be lightweight and it should be very strong. So that is the meaning of various technologies. Then how customers' needs will evolve. What will be the shape of anticipated shape of this mobile phone or maybe iPad in 2035? You should have a picture and then you create a roadmap for that. You see what happened to Motorola, Ericsson, Nokia, BlackBerry. These are famous names. But only person who is surviving in this today's context is, it is not BlackBerry's what we call Q3 operating system or this Nokia's Symbian operating system or Ericsson's old that thing. There is a famous book based upon innovation in BlackBerry called Research in Motion. If you find in Google, it will be 700, 800 rupees it is. So all these things are now outdated. Once upon a time they were great, but now these are outdated things. Then what could be your possible aim? Your aim is to develop world-class products and services that meet customer needs. And what these companies, these celebrated companies, they are doing the same thing, whether it is Apple or Microsoft, or it is Johnson & Johnson, or maybe G, or maybe this Lufthansa, or maybe British Airline, or maybe Singapore Airline. They all are competitive, they all are earning profit because they are able to do their homework in these areas. Is clear? Then we say, what is innovation? Ultimately, technology comes from innovation. Innovation is anything which is new with commercial intent. So we say introduction of something new. Once upon a time, what was new? When probably Leonardo da Vinci gave this idea. You must have heard this name, Leonardo da Vinci. He thought, why not just like birds, we should also fly. So his conceptualization of how we can fly is, he has given this kind of template, a model he devised. Using this, we can fly. So this is an idea. Another is, if you see, this very famous painting, girl with a pearl. First, most celebrated painting in the world is Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, or his so-called mysterious smile. And this is second painting in the world. Most famous painting ranks, if you see, girl with the pearl. Okay. Then we say innovation can be seen as a something in action, we call it verb, and something as an entity, we call it as a noun. So innovation as a noun is we are developing some product or a process from study and experimentation. Experimentation means the way we calculate what is value of G, 2 pi under root L over G. In class 10 we do this experiment. That is the meaning of experimentation. And as a verb, we say it is a what we call something in mind. It is a tacit in nature. So that is tacit in nature. It is one person's visualization. Then if you say this product and processes, so how product and processes have evolved So see, once upon a time we have a bullock cart. Mahatma Gandhi has also used this bullock cart with some mechanical engine. This thing. So from this bullock cart, long back, maybe thousands of years back, to this cart, maybe 300 years old, this, these are all 50 years old, 60 years old, you can say 100 years old. Ford started around 1920 somewhere. And now people are talking about a car which can not only, it can fly, it can swim, so that kind of thing. Probably if some car is there just like a drone, 2040, that they will in the market. So that is the meaning of innovation, something which gives you commercial value. If it is a competitive advantage, no doubt competitive advantage over your competitors, or over your what we call other person in the market. And if you have a competitive advantage, you can charge a superior price. That superior price will give you greater money, what we call that money minus your expenses, revenue minus expense is your profit. It will increase your profitability, and that profit you can use paying as a what we call to your stakeholders in the form of debentures, and some portion can be as a retained earning. Then in this context we say innovation is a discipline capable of being learned and capable of being practiced. You see the definition, this Mintzberg says, we require innovation because circumstances change. Circumstances means business environment changes. For example, you see this again war example of Ukraine and Russia. It has changed the dynamics. If you talk about this energy market, Russia is searching for new energy markets. Older Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and some other countries, even China also. And Europe is losing energy, cheap energy sources from Russia. So in that situation, what will be your strategy? What will be the Germany's strategy, or maybe Finland's strategy, or maybe UK's strategy? So strategy is not a continuous thing. You form and adapt your strategies along the discontinuities in the market. That is the meaning of this. When you say strategy can be crafted, means works. And then you also say every strategy provides you certain opportunity, every strategy provides you certain risks. So how you are balancing this risk and benefits in terms of your chosen strategy is the key issue when you are implementing a strategy. So this idea is from the famous person called Peter Drucker. Then when we talk about innovation, we also say we visualize innovation, or we visualize any solution, technological solution, in terms of what we call this innovation funnel. It is shape of a funnel. So here we have lot of ideas, lot of opportunities in the market. So based upon opportunities, based upon given technologies, we generate alternative solutions. Solution 1, solution 2, solution 3, solution 4. These solutions may come from various creativity of people. You are involving people, you are involving your partners. We have this challenge, how to solve it with given technology. So many alternates will come, and from those alternates we choose a feasible alternate which we perceive that this will be the best answer for the opportunity in the market or threat in the market. And then we implement it. And finally, if it is properly implemented, if everything is well thought of, probably we will be able to capture gain in terms of funds, in terms of better market cap share, or maybe in terms of better partnerships. Because if you are successful, your business partner would like to remain with you. So we say competitive advantage comes through various series of acts of innovation. Sony is a great example. Sony is market leader in this is Sony LCD or LED, you can say. And Sony has lot of patents on its so many technologies behind this, whether it is a signal processing or it is a what we call how you are reproducing this signal in the form of picture, how they are managing this pixel, what is behind this pixel. So all these are in terms of know-how, IPs. In fact, Sony's technology is the benchmark or a standard. So it creates a kind of barrier for others, because if they are using that standard, they have to pay something to the Sony. So this strength has come because of continuous innovation. Then we say that innovation don't come in isolation. Innovation comes through your efforts. That effort can be in terms of you have different sources and how you are managing these sources. Basically these sources becomes part of your networks. So you have one person, you are engaging with different firms, you are engaging with universities, you are engaging with government, you are also engaging with private sector or non-private actors. So various type of stakeholders, various type of actors which are operating in a society, interaction between them, collaboration between them can be a source of innovation for your organization. Now, when you are talking about innovation or when you are talking about developing a business model, so there are so many what we call standard terms or so many issues which you what we call you try to address, or you use these templates or these methods to analyze a certain situation. So these are some of them. Say for instance, first is what is your technology life cycle. They are also correlated with product life cycle. Now product life cycle is nothing but it is simple, almost S-shaped curve. This S-shaped curve. Now question is, your S-shaped curve can be something like starting, emerging, maturity and declining. So for some, this it can be the width of your S-shaped curve. For some situation, this S-shaped curve can be very fast. So it depends upon the situation. You need to understand what is going to be my technology life cycle, whether it is going for 2 years, 3 years. Now people say it is less than 6 months. For clothes, this is one-day affair in France.
Fast fashion.
Fast fashion. You see all these models. Then disruptive technologies. Once Nokia was very happy with all this thing, his Q3 this system, input system, and Symbian operating system. Nokia was the king. But Nokia could not understand that some technology is coming which is providing more value. At the same time, it is more cost competitive. So slowly and slowly, market had shifted from, you see, from one this thing to another this thing. So by the times Nokia understand, iOS or touch screen has become a dominant technology. Dominant in a sense, its cost of operation was less, it is providing more value and people are accepting it. And the company who is what we call bringing this technology, they have a product also. From that product, they have what we call, Apple has created a kind of what we call ecosystem. Historically, Apple was a only product company, hardware company. So from hardware, they have shifted towards, I don't know who gave them this idea. That's why ideas are very important. They say we will be offering music. And for music also, they have created an iPad sort of thing. iPod sort of thing. And that music itself is become a kind of a standard. And from there they have become a software company. So they have software, hardware, business model also. So these things are what we call altogether becomes a disruptive. Just like you say, you have a diesel engine based automobile, you have a petrol engine based automobile. Now you are saying it will be battery operated. Some say if it is very commercially successful or economical viable, then probably why not? Battery operated. Then probably some say it is hydro energy based. You don't need anything, engine will take this hydrogen from the air and it will function. If that thing become commercially viable, then probably why not? All these petrol based, diesel based and electricity based, they will go. Then same thing here is related to this thing. When your product becomes a mature product, question is how to move from this stage of maturity to new. How to add newness. You say soap is a commodity product. But you see how HLL is doing a lot of efforts in making soaps as if without that thing you will be not that good looking. Okay. So from this at maturity stage, how you are doing a new idea, new concept, how you are adding new value to that product. And then this also, pyramid shape, how you are designing your organization. Then your old familiar, old terms come to two forces, 5 forces model. We are using it to analyze what my suppliers is going to do, what my customers is going to do. Then crossing the chess. By the way, there is a book by the name of Disruptive Innovators Day. Just borrow. And then crossing the chess also, there is a name of book, Crossing the Chess by some, if I remember, Moore, M-W-I, Moore. So this crossing the chess, he says, you may have a novel idea. You have initial success also, what we call early adopters of the market. But question is, from early adaptation, how to move into the mainstream of the market. Few people are purchasing here, but here it is expected that main market is accepting it. Lot of consumers are purchasing it. So this stage from early adaptation to mass adaptation, how to navigate from this to this. These issues are not so simple. Okay. So this is an important thing. Then person is known by the company he keeps. This is a saying. Similarly here, business capability depends upon with whom you are partnering, how capable they are. Capable not only providing a product, but capable in bringing value together. Okay. Because quality of this product will not be that good because it depends upon the quality of input material. As basic as silicon material. How you are processing that silicon material into P-type, N-type microprocessor and then other thing. And then your innovation funnel. Innovation funnel means loose understanding, just easily understanding, ideas, evaluation, then choosing a right this thing. So all these things in a way they become very important when we want to create, we want to deliver, we want to capture value. It's clear? Then this is I think just to add something. So we say that if you talk about last 200 years, this industrialization started with the power of what we call steel. Earlier everything was human muscle power, stonework doing something like this, human muscle power. But everything changed with power of steam engine. So at that time, focus of product was only on craftsmanship. handmade jewelry, handmade equipments. Okay. But the problem was that at that time, or with handmade components they are not standardized. There is some amount of deviation. So parts are not interchangeable. So with the power of machine and power this thing, here comes the power of what we call standardization. Okay. And then from steam we have moved to electric energy. And then we have this kind of Toyota production, not Toyota production, this is Ford's assembly line, Model T. Okay. And from here, from craftsmanship, one of a kind, to standardized product, which offers what we call interchangeability of components. You can change this bulb because another bulb is almost similar in terms of its socket and this and that. It is a very powerful concept, interchangeability of parts. Then we mass produced it. And when we mass produce it, when people are having this thing, they said, no, I don't want this thing because he is also wearing the same thing which I am wearing. Or he is using the same thing what I am using. So I want something different, something unique. So this segment comes along here, what we call last 40 years. There we are talking about mass customization. And now we are talking about not only product is for me, and not only it is a product, but it is also providing me kind of a unique experience. So we are shifting from craftsmanship to standardization, to mass production, to mass customization, to experience out of thing. So this is the dynamics in which our products and services are moving. And accordingly, we develop a business model which is providing mass customization, which is providing kind of experience. This will make you relevant in the market, otherwise you will become irrelevant. Now coming back to the historical landscape, you see, when you say innovation is one thing, something new which is useful, something new which can be commercialized. Intent is commercialization. Here technology is what? Technology, if you go for definition, it has so many things. Technology is a know-how, knowledge, how P-type material acts, how N-type material acts, and when you blend this, how P-N junction operates. Then it is a science of a craft. How you can apply principles of scientific know-how. You say M is equal to F is equal to MA, F is equal to M dV by dt, or in terms of acceleration, square by square. What is impulse? Force for very small amount of time. Or you say Faraday's law. What is Faraday's law? Anyone? Lenz's law, Biot-Savart law. If you bring something, it will be magnetized. If you magnetize, something will happen. So whole electrical discipline is based upon that principle. So application of basic principles of science. Then technology can be in the form of what hardware and software you are creating. Technology can also be in the form of what is the way you are operating, best practices. So one example is maybe lean thinking or PDCA or Six Sigma methodology. Then we say it is a sum of techniques, skills, methods, processes used in production of goods and services. So what is technology? We are saying holistically it is sum of skills, method and processes. Then we say it is a totality of means employed to provide objects necessary for human sustenance and comfort. What for we want products and services? Our basic needs are the same. 2 times food, 3 times food, some cloth and other things revolve around this basic requirement. Technology also requires or involve what we call physical and human labeling. And it also involves how it is shared, how it is communicated, how it is broadcasted. Then, if you have read a course on economics, we say there are factors of production. So similar to basic factors of production, now we say technology is also a factor of production. Technology is also a factor of production. And this picture I have shown you purposely. We are just like monkey and chimpanzee. Our basic traits are the same. We want safety. It's a Maslow hierarchy. We want safety. We want food. Isn't it?
Yes.
So many of these definitions it goes here. This thing. Basic sustenance. Mobile phone for what? Ability to communicate. This basic need. We want to share something. Probably somewhere it is sense of insecurity. If I will not communicate then. So if you want to understand today's human behavior, little bit insights will come from animals also. Then technology can be here. Technology can be, you see this is thermal power turbine. It may vary from nuclear to this thing to some other thing. And then maybe robotic kind of thing. Robotic kind of thing. It may be alien or maybe your own created alien. These all have involved some amount of technology. Maybe many times chimpanzees are using stone to break something, some fruit. And many times some birds, what they are doing is, they will capture some animal or maybe tortoise and drop it from certain height. Because of that drop, animal will die, or that tortoise will also be maybe break, his shell will be break. That is also know-how, that is also a component of technology. Or the way they are using stone to crush something, that is also a primitive tool. You see something like this. So how humans have started using tools, you see the right hand side, flint tool, fire. We are using this to crush something or to hit something. Then somehow we have realized if you are rubbing these two tools, two stones, so that energy is in form of fire. They don't understand it is a form of energy. They understand some magic happens and you have a fire. Then you see kind of painting you have made. Then this kind of painting, this kind of painting, this kind of painting, this kind of this thing. You see how it is evolving from this tool to this tool. Now you have knowledge of metallurgy. So you are making an iron tool, which is most useful in nature. Then probably you have made a ship because you know something like this, it floats. So from floating example, you have created something which is more sophisticated in nature. Then probably you have built this kind of building, your own Kosalini. And then you have designed a what we call assembly line. These all have a shades of technology. From simple stone to sophisticated. This is not that sophisticated, but finally it is a Toyota production system. Then technological innovation is a driver of competitive success. Once upon a time when I was a kid, I had a Sony this thing. It was not Sony, it was Philips. It has a cassette. So that is now a obsolete product. 2005 probably I have purchased in one laptop, and as a gift I got some Apple, this small Christmas device, 1 inch by 1 inch. This Apple Tunes, there's a lot of music. So from this device, from old device to this device to this device, how things are moving. That is the meaning of technological innovation. And you see, many firms earn over 1/3 of sales or product developed in the last 5 years. Last 5 years means products are recent in nature. They are based upon updated latest technologies. Then another thing is why we need it, because of earlier we have your competition is only from your within the country or within the state. Now our competition is all global. You are competing with Chinese product or Taiwan product or maybe American products. That's why innovation becomes very important. And then we say it may be product related innovation, it can be process related innovation. So from simple that thing to stone, we have here, CAD/CAM system, computer aided manufacturing, computer aided design sort of thing, to here. This is also innovation. You see how Pepsi logo is changing from that type to this type. So it has various angles. Then what happened? Then this we have discussed. Technology is changing at fast pace. When technology is changing, product life cycle is also changing. Product life cycle, we say it is shrinking. And customers are becoming more sophisticated in terms of, because they have a more education, at the same time they have a more experience with alternate products. So their demand is increasing. Their demand for more sophisticated products. They want added features in that products. Okay. Then you have no other, what we call it. You have to differentiate your product. You have to create a product and say these are the areas in which my product is superior to my competitor's product. Say for example, your Apple's iPhone or mobile phone with the Samsung's mobile phone. Both have its own pros and cons. People are followers of Apple, people are followers of Samsung's. Samsung is a very fast, what we call. They re-engineer things and their product life cycle is very small. 3 months, 4 months, they are bringing a new model. That sort of thing. Then, you see, same thing in a different way. Once upon a time this was the car. And now we have a, what we call, all industries more or less, they are based upon what is best in the technological world. So insights are coming from biotechnology, insights are coming from chemical engineering, insights are coming from what we call nanotechnology. Nano is, by the way, -9, 10 raised to power -9. So all these things, even quantum computing, quantum, you say quantum phenomena, you don't know whether it is a particle or it is a wave. That quantum phenomena is now in terms of, it is used in computing, quantum computers, quantum processing power. So all these things is blend together. Genetic engineering. You know how to, what we call this COVID medicine was based upon RNA. RNA technology. You know, anyone knows the full form of RNA?
Ribonucleic acid.
And DNA. ATST, adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine. Okay. So you are playing at that level, gene level you are playing. So all this thing blending into some product. All this, from genetic engineering, from quantum, from nano, from this thing, all these things in the form of product. So we say that when these new things are coming, many of the technologies are disruptive in nature, and it is what we call, it is bringing new products which earlier probably which you have not thought of. You see, we have industrial robots. Almost all manufacturing is through robots. Then we have a autonomous car, self-driving. It means it has a lot of sensors means it has the ability to what we call manipulate that sense data and then take a decision based upon what was programmed, and accordingly that decision is converted into this direction, this speed and that thing. And then probably you have a robotic nurse. So these kind of changes are happening, which necessitates you to change your business model. It is not for the purpose of only this is changing and we are observing. No. If autonomous vehicles are very successful, if hydro energy becomes very successful, you cannot remain making your Volkswagen kind of car or Maruti kind of Suzuki kind of car. You have to adapt and you have to change. Then we also classify, we have low technology, medium technology and high kind of technologies. But many times simple technology is very useful. Paper and pencil based thing. Many times voice technology is useful. Many times this is a simple pin is very useful. It depends upon the situation. That's why we should know the classification in terms of low, medium and high. Then this is another way of saying that just like in knowledge, we have a tacit knowledge, we have a explicit knowledge. Tacit knowledge remains in the what we call mind of the person, expert. It comes from its own training, it comes from experience, it comes from what we call practice. Just like you see, there is a movie, very famous song in the world called Ghost. The protagonist is making some pot. So this capability comes from your experience, practice. How good you are, how good a surgeon is, that is his tacitness. It comes from experience, it comes from practice. So some issues are related to tacitness, some issues are explicit, which can be converted into a knowledge, which can be converted into what we call a standard operating procedure sort of thing. You follow this, you will be knowing this. Just like in class 10th we have introduced force equal to mass into acceleration. But class 10th student will not be able to differentiate what is mass. Really, what is mass? But to some extent, at that level, force is ma. Force is ma. So this is just for this thing. So many times what happens is certain capabilities you have, certain capabilities you do not have. Certain capabilities you can develop internally, R&D, your activities. And certain, if you do not have those capabilities, you go for purchase, license, merger, acquisitions, maybe joint ventures, collaborations, alliances, form of joint ventures. Then it also depends on absorption capability, absorption capacity of your organization. Just like you are eating food, it depends upon how good is your digestive system. Similar kind of thing is absorption capacity of the organization. If capacity is poor, you can redesign it. It depends upon the culture prevalent in the organization, organizational culture. And then we may also take a decision of make and buy. That's simple outsourcing decision. Whether to develop R&D internally or outsource it, purchase it. But when you are purchasing it, it brings risk also. Dependence is a risk. What we call fear of unknown. Okay. So you take a very calibrated this thing, benefits and risks. Then see lot of maybe you are not good in this thing, but you see graphene based nanotechnologies are coming. Graphene is a very, people say, very smart material, very strong material. And if you are in something which requires a strong material, so you can acquire this technology by paying money. Then this is acquisition. Then this is same thing as we have earlier said. the way technologies are evolving, you see, textile, water power, mechanical engineering, electrical, cars, airline, computers, biotechnology. These are different phases of how different industries are evolving, different engineering know-how is evolving. And along you see, from mechanization to steam power to heavy engineering to mass production and mass customization. Same thing in a different way to appreciate how things are changing. And now we are in terms of cyber physical system. We are saying digital twin. Madam will be sitting here, but digital twin will be here. That kind of thing. Then, when we are saying this thing, we also talk about technology readiness level. So classically it is a 9 levels. So if you know basic principle, little bit technology, proof of concept, oh, okay, it is working. It is working. But then other issues, then prototyping, then demonstration of prototyping, then developing the bigger picture, and then a kind of system of systems side of thing. So this US satellite, when it goes like this and returns like this, it is probably at this level, 8 and 9 level of this thing. So technology readiness level is also important. It shows your level of maturity, where your organization is. In general, Indian organization is not above 5. They are almost 8. All even our Apna, BHEL, this thing, all are almost here. So this is also important concept, where you are in terms of technology readiness. Then many times, because you are in an organization is not a mechanical thing, it is a humans operate organization. Human beings work in the organization. So there are different ways of doing things. If you simply say, tell the people you are going to cut head count, it means you are going for downsizing. People have a developed kind of fear because they are dependent, have dependence on your this thing. So people will not help you. People will not support you. Tell people you are going to downsize. Tell people you are going to re-engineer. Re-engineer different ways of doing things. So generally people have a fear of unknown. They want to maintain a status quo. So a smart way of saying this is, tell people you are going to be innovative. It's just playing with softer aspects of human beings. Okay? You see, a lot of people have a lot of followings. Some Baba has, some sage has a lot of following. Why they are able to have this much number of followings? Because somewhere down the line they are touching their deep-rooted needs. This is simple. As I earlier said, technology can be considered as one of the factor of production. So this is just a simple demonstration. Because of advanced technologies, from 60s, 70s onwards, almost GDP of all countries have increased substantially. And there is a gentleman, Robert Solow, he shown it empirically, investment in technology and how GDP is growing. He got a Nobel Prize for that in 1981. And then people also say GDP, which is driven by technology and other factor of production, it's linked with quality of life. If you want to see the quality of life, people say quality of life is best in where? Switzerland, maybe in UK, Finland. Most happy people are where? Other than Bhutan is Finland, no? Norway, US also. So, because if you see, they are very good in certain technologies. Finland is not a small player. They are very good in mobile communication technology. This Nokia is probably from Finland, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And Nokia is the name of a river in Finland. You see how GDP is growing, per capita GDP you can say. How? Over a period of time. So this is the Western countries, Western Europe, this Finland, England, Germany, France. And these are Africa, East Asia, this and this. This is average of the world. So this graph shows that technology is a very important driver for growth. And it culminates into the increase in GDP. Then, if you see at higher level, all technological know-how or innovativeness, innovation, finally percolate into more efficient ways of food production. Once upon a time in India, we are not sufficient in food in 60s and 70s. Then lot of emphasis was on what we call green revolution. Lot of emphasis was on doing agriculture in a very scientific way, using better seeds, disease-resistant seeds. So a lot of collaboration was there with US universities particularly. And outcome of that is by early 90s, you can see India is producing more than its requirement. So that is this more efficient food production. Even China is also surplus in food production. Then improved medical technologies, better transportation, increases GDP by making labor and capital more effective and efficient. So this demonstrates that innovation and technology are very important, the critical element in nation building, society building, as well as survival of organizations. So this picture simply shows how people are investing money in R&D activities. You see, most bigger actor is US. This is a little bit old data, but still it gives you the purpose. US is investing this much, China is investing this much, Japan is investing this much, we are investing this much, 48 and something. So these are other countries. Ultimately, just like business, if you are a bigger economy, how much surplus you are creating, and that surplus is invested back into R&D activities. So their value capture is more high. Yes, it is around 30 trillion economy. China is around 21-22 trillion economy. We are around 3 trillion economy. Japan will be around 4 trillion economy. But you see the size of Japan and size of India. That will gives you a lot of red flags for India. So this we have developed, discussed, but still it is important thing. Many times it is situational. Historical data says if you want to develop a medicine, it takes around 10 years of R&D activities, around 10 on an average. And it involves huge amount of investment, maybe in the tune of 10 million. So all the efforts which we have done, all the countries during the time of COVID, that 1 year R&D work was equivalent to around 10 to 15 years of R&D work in normal circumstances. And you see many times there are very challenging issues. Medicine is fine, but you need to keep that medicine at -80. And that too, you are not keeping it at one refrigerator at one place. You need to move to reach the last mile customer or last person somewhere in some remote area. Maybe in Africa, maybe in Malaysia, maybe in Indonesia, or for that matter even Australia. Australia is a very big country, hugely densely populated, small clusters. So that is the meaning. Then this is simple. If we have any problem, someone said parents will not spend 500 rupees, they will not go more than 100. So phase 1. Phase 1. Phase 2, phase 3, and finally this. Then idea generation, feasibility. You are structuring it now in a more formal manner. The first stage is idea generation. Second stage is feasibility of those ideas, what we call alternate. Then capability, whether that the idea which you have chosen, that alternate which you have chosen, whether you are capable of that thing or not. So you acquire lot of capabilities, you develop lot of partnership, and then launch and roll out. Okay? Then idea to concept investigation, feasibility development, then post release and current product support. This is actually what is happening, but that requires this activity and that activity. Sustained organizational support, top leadership's support, provision of funds, and innovation support system. Important thing is organizational culture, group dynamics, quality of manpower. That's why you see why people in India and China and maybe some other tropical emerging economies, they migrating to Europe and to US. Maybe one of the reasons is this: there they find better culture. They have a negative aspect also, but overall they find job in tune with their capabilities, in tune with what idea they are having, commensurate to their capabilities. So many times we say, sometimes we say, for example, this is example, someone has developed a camera in the form of pill. You will take that pill, it will go inside, it will take all the photographs, because this is unknown terrain. Before doing this, क्या कहते हैं इसको? हाँ? Then क्या कहते हैं? What is it?
Ultrasound.
Ultrasound. Ultrasound will not give you the real picture. So you are sending a camera. Same thing happens in this bypass surgery and this thing. You are sending a camera, and then you are looking at what is happening inside the vein. What is the amount of what we call fat deposition. Okay. And then we talk about related term is creativity. Creativity is creativity. The way he said something, it is also creativity. But creativity does not have necessarily always a commercial orientation. But creativity acts as a feeder to the innovation. Okay. So this is creativity. Maybe someone's probably it is a Van Gogh's painting. This is creativity, and this is simply a product for keeping something. Maybe brass based, iron based, rusted this thing. So creativity depends upon your capabilities, whether you are a pure engineer or you are an engineer with MBA, or you are a science graduate, or you are a commerce graduate, or you are a agriculture science graduate. I like physics, so I see everything in this nature in terms of physics, in terms of Maxwell equations, in terms of statistical mechanics, in terms of thermodynamics, in terms of quantum phenomena. Why people are not trustworthy? Quantum mechanics says it is a wave-particle duality. We have an uncertainty principle. If you are locating this thing, here you are going to make mistakes. This is precise, here you are going to make mistakes. So that is the way. Our capabilities gives us the frame. It becomes our lens. Then our knowledge. Apart from your subject's knowledge, how diversified you are. In terms of painting, in terms of music, in terms of gardening, how Japanese gardens, why Japanese gardens are very, what we call, pleasing to look. They look very serene to what Genghis Khan has done. What was his ambition as a person? What Genghis Khan has done is not a small thing. It requires a lot of courage. Even if you see the Mughal period, Aurangzeb remained 20 years in a tent because he was fighting in Deccan. As a king, people will say, I am a king, so I will enjoy. He has sacrificed enjoyment and 20 years in a tent. So all those things make a person. And those things gives you creativity. Then your style of thinking, your personality, your motivation, your environment, risk taker and persistence. Just like Thomas Alva Edison. Okay? Then so it says that like creativity, like innovation, it may have different sources. Then you need to develop linkages between them. You have a wild idea, but converting those wild ideas, say for example, some of you are using what you call glasses. There is a story how glasses was designed. So one person, he had a glass, he rubbed it, and somehow he rubbed one surface, he found something, nothing. Then he rubbed another surface, he has a different kind of effect. Then he linked this concave surface, one convex surface, he found something. And that become the kind of binocular. So it come over a period of 5-year, 10-year experimentation. Maybe by chance, it is by chance. Okay. Same with X-ray. X-ray was also invented by chance. He was doing some experiments, and one day he saw, when I am putting my hand here, I am seeing a black thing, black surface, and in between I am seeing my bones. At least we have some idea. Without looking at bone, we know something hard exists between our inside muscles. So he saw that thing. Then he thought over it. And then over a period of time he has realized probably this is the one way of looking inside the human body. So many things. How we have started making what we call sugar or maybe wine. Then you see, these are some of the names. You see this one. Many times in organization need to foster innovation. Organization need to tolerate the innovativeness, creativeness in its employees within certain limits. And in movies also they are showing something like this. Nutty Professor or maybe some of this thing. They are famous characters, at least in US cinema. Then you see, sometimes it is valuable, but it is not commercially valuable. कहते हैं ना फूक के खाते हैं थोड़ा सा. It is noodle, probably that lady has designed one fan, but how commercial it is, whether it will become, or whether it is, what is its usability? Maybe it is useful, but ease of use is not there, probably. Or maybe something like this umbrella and this thing also. You say finance people are very conservative. They wear belt also, then they wear this also. So that trouser is maintained. They are very cautious with expenditure. That is the reason. Okay. Sometimes you may be very creative, but it is not that usable. Okay. Then how someone thought about remote control. I think we had a TV, but remote control TV I purchased in around 2005. Earlier TV was, I have to go there and this. But remote control was invented in probably, this is Hungarian person in 1955. Because it is a costly affair. Because if it is a remote control, it is sending some electromagnetic signal in some spectrum, generally infrared. And then there should be some sensor which is capturing it. Many times it is not always a straight line, it should have this ability. In certain range it operates. That makes things costly. So that become economically viable in year after 90s. Then your first microwave, just like ATM machine, or jet airliner, or I don't know, first industrial robot, and communication satellite. In my lifetime, I have heard, I think I was in class 4th and 5th and somewhere. Today, India has launched one satellite, PSLV, something like that. That made it possible to broadcast television signals so that everyone can see from 6 evening to maybe 11:30 when baby comes and says good night. And today we have a TV of 24 hours. And why not? So many channels, 50 plus channels. And people also talk about invention and innovation. Invention is an idea, sketch or model of new or improved device, but it is yet to be commercialized. Concept or creation of a novel technology, product, process, developed by chance or trial, developed by chance. This Mr. Watson, this Edison's is by chance. X-ray is by chance. Penicillin is this antibiotic is by chance. But by chance does not mean by chance. They were experimenting, but that goal was not in their mind. So because of maybe lot of effort, maybe effort in the right direction, give you the success. Same goes with this what we call this Watson-Crick's model of DNA. Watson-Crick's model of, they were in Cambridge around 1965. So they were thinking over what could be, how these are connected. Adenine, guanine, inside of DNA, how they are connected. So they have visualized experimentation. The laboratory is still there, Cavendish laboratory, their experiment setup is still there. They have commercialized, British people have commercialized that laboratory, but they are earning, I don't know, maybe thousands of pounds per year, per month. Visitors are coming, they are looking at things, paying fee. So that model came, DNA model, because of sustained inquiry over a period of time, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. They are living and sleeping, working, only thing in mind is DNA model. This probably sir has also talked about. Many times when talking about this innovation, we categorize it radical innovation or incremental innovation. Radical innovation is altogether changes the dynamics. Incremental innovation is one step at a time. And routine, for the sake of classification, routine is just day-to-day things. So, this is important. 4 P's of innovation, from simple flame, candle, till LED bulb, or some other form of bulb which will come in the future. So, product innovation, process innovation, position innovation, and paradigm innovation. What is paradigm innovation? Probably you know this thing, you know this thing, you know this thing. This is. So Bosch and Lomb, they were in this Ray-Ban glasses. Who makes Ray-Ban glasses? So they have moved from making glasses to provide a technological solution for eye in terms of contact lenses. Then Rolls-Royce, we have discussed Rolls-Royce, from engine to, they became a company. They are saying we are providing you power as a service, and we will charge you based upon unit time, maybe half an hourly or maybe it is hour based. Same with HP. HP has shifted from mainframe to service based. Cloud they are offering, cloud data. This IBM. Similarly, Philips has moved from electrical company to healthcare company. You see, this was you are making something. Now we have a very sophisticated assembly lines. So this has shifted into this. This is the chairs in earlier what we call superior class, business class. See? This. So these are just examples. You see, structural innovation we are saying Dell's model from what we call mass customized to your kind of standard product to your kind of model. Then airlines co-development of Boeing 777. All this European airbase is not a effort of one company or one country. It is a effort of all consortium of countries in Europe, Airbus. Then this is important for you people. Many times we have organizational innovation. For example, process reengineering or process redesign. Then concepts of total quality management. This is also related because ultimately you are saying we are capturing value, we are creating value through our product and services. So question is how good your product is. That goodness is people sometimes talk in terms of quality. Best of the best. What is best of the best is a relative thing. Gold is gold, 24 karat gold. Or gems are gems, just like ruby, emerald and this thing. But these ruby or maybe emerald and this gold 22 karat or 24 karat, when they blend together and make a good jewelry piece, just like Cartier makes, it becomes invaluable. It's very costly affair. It is in millions. It is for princes and princesses, queens. That is the meaning of quality. Either in terms of features or in terms of cost. Toyota production system, Toyota cars are more efficient car at very low cost. Whether it is a Toyota or it is a Honda. So that is the thing. Then customer relationship. We also talk about supplier relationship. Then information sharing, enterprise resource planning. Enterprise resource planning 1, enterprise resource planning 2. Now we are saying whole our value chain, whole our supply chain is connected with information systems. That is the essence behind this thing. And then we have a just-in-time system. In one of the concept in businesses, though we are having a product and services, it should be available when it is needed. Before that it is a cost. So just-in-time concept basically talks about this thing, how to delay things, but if there is a postponement strategy. So how to delay final configuration till the time you get a customer order. You must be aware of push forces and pull forces. We generally go for pull forces. Beauty in our product, beauty means utility in our product is such a vast that customer on its own gives an order. We are not making it, storing it. We are not built to stock company. We are built to assemble or built to order company. That is the meaning of just in time. And then you see this we have already discussed how things have evolved and made other things obsolete, old things obsolete. Colored CRTs of 70s, compact disc, floppy disk 3.5, 5.5, then plasma TVs, then iPods, iPhone, and then this thing. You don't know what kind of phone will be there in future. Okay? they are still dominant technology. There is a term called dominant technology. In word processing, Microsoft's MS Office is a dominant technology. In mobile phone, probably they have the dominant technology. In color television, this thing, LED or LCD, Sony's know-how is the dominant technology. Similarly, in GE's engine, this aircraft engine, they have the dominant technology. What they do is become the standard. So your aim should be to develop a know-how which is dominant technology. Because if your thing becomes dominant, you will not face disruptive forces. So this is same thing. If you are first in the market with some innovative products, you have certain advantages. And then follower means you have missed something, but still if you are doing lot of R&D activities and you are coming up with a better product, then probably or laggards. Okay, say for example, I don't know if people are too young, there was a company called HTC. HTC, it was a very good company in terms of hardware. Very good name, HTC. It was giving competition to Samsung or Apple. But Apple has created a bigger, what we call, value proposition. Software also, hardware also. And somehow HTC remained and declined, and Apple something like that. So it does not depend upon how good you are in one thing, but how good you are over a period of time. How good you will be in future, vis-a-vis what your competitor is doing. That gives you the ultimate competitive advantage. You see, that I was saying. These are the names. We are using refrigerator. It is a name. We say washing powder. We say surf is a company's name, but surf is synonymous with washing powder. So you see, strong name recognition if you are dominant player. Better market, chance to define industry standard, just like Sony. Head start on learning curve. Because over a period of time, people say it is our knowledge curve. The more mistakes we are doing, we have more learning. We have more learning about the feedback about the what people are accepting or will be accepting or they have reservation about. Then protective barriers, higher prices, brand loyalty and support from government, investors and vendors. India also, if you see, if government of India want to do something, they give invitation to Reliance Industries or Adani or some other big players. Come and see and give some proposals. So if you have any question, please ask. Many times we have disadvantages also. Large R&D cost. People are imitating. Then capital investment for production facilities make it difficult to change. Lock-in, because you have invested a lot of things on fixed asset. And people are imitating your product and without investing much, they have a capturing, they have a big share of market. Then this is all. This is same thing. Now, how to what we call categorize what we have discussed. So we can say innovation can be at a micro level, component level, two at the macro level, what we call system level or system of system level, and it can be small, incremental, one at a time, two radical, altogether different. So you have to choose where you want to, this 6 places. This is just an indicative typology to to frame good research questions or good questions in your mind about possible collaborations, about how new disruptive technologies are coming, or how to cross what we call crossing the chess, how to use this computer forces model and understand what my competitors are going to do, or what is bargaining power of my customers, switching cost, so many, all the 5 issues in this thing. So here. If you have any question, please ask.